Buying a good laptop is pretty much on anyone's best interest. Whether you're a student or a professional, you need a portable and powerful workstation that can power all of your apps and have the software running that you need. So with the vast amount of options out there and under very competitive price tags, it can be a little challenging to find the best option for you. So I've done some searching from my end, and these are my top picks for the performance or power driven laptops under 70,000 rupees or even 65,000 Indian rupees. Now note that these are not perfect options for everyone. If I was going to buy a laptop today for 65,000, these would be my top picks. So hear me out and take a decision on your own, but I'm sure these would be fine for the most people anyway. Now again, note that these are performance-based laptops, meaning that none of them will have stellar battery life. They'll give you 3 to 4 hours of mixed usage, but after that you should expect them to be plugged into the wall and be used as a standard desktop. So these are primarily gaming and performance laptops, and they're not really into the thin and light category. So bearing that in mind, let's go. The first option we have is the HP Pavilion Gaming DK0271TX. Other than the name, everything else about this laptop is pretty good. Now the model that we're looking at is a 512GB SSD version with 8GB of inbuilt RAM. It has a 144Hz refresh rate display panel and a NVIDIA GTX 1650 for graphics. It's powered by the Intel Core i5-9300H, which does give you a very respectable performance at this price tag. The design looks pretty cool too, with the purple accents on the keyboard and this angular display. I know it looks weird, but it works just fine. That's what I said to her. Anyway, it's currently going for a price of 63,490 on Amazon, and there's an exchange offer of with your old laptop for about 15,000 rupees. I know it's not great, but it's better than nothing, so it's worth checking out. Now for the AMD fans out there, we have an entry from the Asus's lesser known TUF series of gaming laptops. While the ROG series focuses to be their premium flagship, the TUF series seems to be a mid-range entry-level gaming laptops. But that's not to say that they are slower or lesser quality in any way. This TUF A15 laptop seems to be one of the best options out there. This thing is powered by a Ryzen 5 4600H, 512GB of NVMe SSD storage and 16GB of RAM. However, this thing doesn't have a high refresh rate display, so it's a standard anti-glare IPS panel running at 60Hz. It can be a kind of a downside for those who do high refresh rate gaming a lot, but if you focus more on performance rather than just gaming frame per second, then this would be a better option for you. Coming in at the price tag of 64,990, this is definitely one of the best laptops out there, so take a look. Next up is a good old option from Lenovo from their Legion gaming lineup. It's the Legion Y540. Now I'm only focusing on gaming laptops here with the SSDs built in, because the difference between an SSD and a hard disk in terms of performance is pretty significant. If you want to know just how much SSDs are better than hard drives, then you can check out that video I've made from the iCards above. But yeah, this thing makes a list because it has an SSD and a hard disk built in. So it has a 1TB of hard disk drive and a 256GB SSD for installing your operating system, and it comes built in with Windows anyway. It has the same 4GB of GTX 1650 graphics and sports an Intel Core i5 9th generation processor. It's worth noting that the display is still a normal 60Hz panel here. It is anti-glare and IPS LCD, so it's pretty good quality, but it's not high refresh rate. So if you do high refresh rate gaming, then you're just limited to 60Hz refresh rate by the hardware itself, even though the CPU and the GPU are capable of doing more. But again, gaming laptops aren't necessarily only meant for gaming, so if you do high intensity applications and kind of graphics intensive tasks like video editing and stuff, then yeah, these will come in handy. So it has all the I/O ports that you need, and it even comes with Dolby Atmos speakers, so it's an overall multimedia beast. Definitely check it out from the description. A newer version or an AMD counterpart to this would be the Lenovo Ideapad Gaming 3, which is powered by the Ryzen 5 4600H, same as we saw above. Before. It comes pre-built with 8GB of RAM and 512GB SSD and a NVIDIA GTX 1650 Ti for graphics. The display again comes in at 60Hz, but it is an anti-glare IPS LCD panel capable of delivering 250 nits. That should be more than enough for a bright indoor environment. Now the keyboard layout is slightly different here. The arrow keys are much larger, making this a more of a productivity machine than just for gaming. Overall, if you wanted an AMD powered slim form factor high performance laptop with LED backlights, then this would be a great choice. Go check it out. Next up is the Mi Notebook Horizon Edition 14-inch. Yeah, right. Psych! Now look, come here. Here's the thing. If you're a laptop manufacturer, why would you name your laptops like this? GF63, GF65? Look at the consoles. Take a note from their book. PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. So it's so easy to say and easy to recommend to others, and it just rolls off the tongue. Now, don't you think PS5 has a model number? It does. But it doesn't have to be the main thing by which the product is identified. If you're naming your laptop, name it something like, MSI Phoenix. See how awesome it sounds? Keep the model number on the box so people can still look at the product as a model, but they can talk about the product with a particular name. And if you are going to name it something like GF something, why not name it as GF69? I wouldn't really mind a GF60. Anyway, the MSI Girlfriend 63 is a very nice thin gaming laptop. It features an Intel Core i5 9th generation 9300H processor, 8 gigs of built-in RAM and 512GB of super fast NVMe SSD storage. Now the graphics card here is the GTX 1650 Max Q, but the GF63 is a better value for money compared to the GL65. It's more or less the same laptop with a slightly lesser customizable look and a slightly underclocked GPU. But the extra colors in the keyboard doesn't really justify the price for me, so I would stick with the GF63. Okay, so those were my top 5 picks for heavy performance based laptops under 65,000 rupees, at least in 2020. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll see you next time. Cheers.